The second thing, I remove any snacking. I'm not really a huge snacker, to be honest, because I prefer to have that kind of like feeling where you're like full. Like even for breakfast and lunch, but for dinner I like to like hype it up, like have like a big hit of carbohydrates at night and be like, woo, I'm ready for bed. But even with breakfast and lunch, I like to have a satisfying meal. I'm not a grazer. I like to just like have a big hit. But I feel like snacking is one of those things that people do in the workplace. People do it at home. Once again, it's usually when you're bored, or you just have a lot of snack food in the house, biscuits, crackers. It can be healthy as well. It can be fruit. It can be beef jerky, all that stuff. But I think that most people would stick to their calories better if they stuck to meals. And that doesn't mean you only have 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It could mean that you have, 4 to 5 meals. But I feel like when you snack in between, you don't really register it. You're kind of like doing things while you're snacking, you're on the go. And it's very easy for you not to compute those calories and just eat your normal meals, which are supplemented with the snacks. If you take those snacks out, it's a very easy way to reduce your calories. So that's a very low-hanging fruit thing. And the way that you could reduce snacking, because sometimes people snack because they have finished their first meal and it's maybe an hour or two after and they're still hungry. Or maybe it's instantly, they're still hungry just after their meal. The thing that we can look at is bringing up your fiber. Fiber is something that helps you feel satiated. It helps increase your satiety. It doesn't necessarily have to increase your calories, but you have to be cautious of what foods you're consuming. Foods that are high in fiber are often the foods that we should be eating more of that we don't. Your fruits and vegetables, they're very high in fiber. If you have an apple, if you have a carrot, if you have lettuce, if you have spinach, if you have kale, these foods are high in fiber. And what fiber does is it just helps us feel full because we're getting, it's processing slower through the stomach. So if you are feeling hungry and you feel like you need to snack, I would check your fiber. A good rule of thumb for fiber is around 15 grams per 1,000 calories that you consume. So for me, my current calorie deficit calories are 3,300. That's a lot, right? So 3,000 calories, I could have 45 grams of fiber to help me feel full. Because even on 3,300 calories, you might say, Brock, that's a ridiculous amount of calories. How can you even eat that? And you're still losing weight? I know, but I just have a high metabolism. I have a high level of physical activity. I walk a lot. I train a lot. I'm a personal trainer, so I move around a lot. So I still get hungry on that. So I do still need to watch my fiber. And when that is high, I find that I'm not ravenous. I'm not looking around for things to eat at nighttime. Often it's after dinner for me. I'll look around for things. So this comes on to, my third point, which is I increase my vegetable and my fruit intake because that just brings up my fiber. So I feel more full. And when I feel more full, not only do you reduce things like snacking, but you reduce your overall amount of calories. And if you're feeling more satiated, then you're going to probably train harder. You're probably, because you feel more full, you're probably going to go for that walk instead of catching an Uber. You might, cycle down to the grocery store, get it, put it in your backpack and come home, as opposed to driving down. So these are the intricacies of fat loss that aren't necessarily like create a calorie deficit, okay, we get that. Yes, that's a very basic principle that everyone's starting to understand now. But what about day-to-day life? What does that look like? And when you buy more fruits and vegetables as opposed to muesli bars, biscuits, Tim Tams, bread rolls, things like that, you become more full. And when you are more full, you train harder, you snack less, you potentially consume less calories, your chances of being more physically active, not just in your workouts, but walking back and forth, playing with your kid maybe, going for a walk with a friend instead of sitting down and watching a TV series, those things are going to become more likely because you are feeling fueled. Okay, and that's why there's a big difference between eating 2,000 calories of McDonald's versus 2,000 calories of low processed fruits and vegetables and very lean cuts of meat, let's say, because of things like fiber, right? So if you eat McDonald's, it's not necessarily the most fibrous foods that you're consuming. But if you're consuming fruits and vegetables, lean cuts of meat, maybe you're eating dairy as well, in this place, you're going to feel different. So yes, fat loss is this energy in versus energy out. I consume 2,000 calories. I burn 2,500 calories. There's a 500 calorie deficit. I am going to lose weight. Okay, yes. Tick the box. That's the basic fundamental understanding. But not all calories are created equal. In terms of energy, they are, but in terms of fiber and in terms of how your body processes those calories, that is a completely different story. So back in 2019, I did this ice cream challenge, 30-day ice cream challenge, where I had 900 calories of ice cream every single day. And I still lost weight. I lost over 5 kilos in 30 days. Now, to be very honest, that was hard because 900 of my calories, which is almost around a third of my calories at that time, were coming from ice cream. There's no fiber in ice cream. It's sugar. It makes you want to eat more. It's full of fat. And even though it was tasty and the diet was awesome and it didn't feel like I was dieting, there were periods of time where I was super hungry. And if I spread those 900 calories over fruits, vegetables, meat, yogurt, better decisions, nutritious foods over delicious foods, if I contributed those 900 calories to more satiating foods, that ice cream diet, I still would have received, or that ice cream challenge, I still would have received the same results, but I would have felt a lot better. I would have been able to lift more weights. I would have been able to have more energy throughout the day to be more physically active. Maybe instead of 5.8 kilos that I lost, I think it was, or 5.2, whatever it is, I may have lost 6.3 if I felt better throughout the entire time. Maybe my work would have been more productive. You never know. But that's why if you fall back on the principle of remaining satiated whilst you're in a fat loss phase, you can potentially get better results. So that's something I would definitely look at for yourself.